There's so many people who are learning several languages at once. You're just not going to get fluent in any of them. I'm sorry, my English will never be as good as yours. And I've spoken it my whole life. I speak 4 languages fluently and not one is native level. And the crazy part is, that's actually the exact reason I got fluent in Spanish in a few months.
Soy Hamid, hablo 4 idiomas y aprendí español 4 veces más rápido que el estudiante medio en solo 120 horas.
Podré para mejorar mi español cuando no tengo mucho tiempo libre para estudiar español.
My parents come from a country called Azerbaijan. It's a country in like Eurasia. It's like Asian and European. It's both basically. And so they came to Sweden as immigrants. And so I was born and raised in Sweden. So my first language was technically Azerbaijani, though it's not my strongest. Growing up, I went to an international preschool where I learned English. But also me and my siblings and cousins, we would all grow up watching English content or English speaking YouTubers and stuff like that. And also just American TV and stuff like The Simpsons. So that also meant that we grew up speaking English with each other. Technically, my second language is English. And then obviously growing up in Sweden and going to Swedish schools, I learned Swedish. And so Swedish is technically my third language. And then about, 6 years later, when I was 12, 13 years old, I decided to learn Spanish. And so I got fluent in Spanish in a few months, right? Anywhere from 3 to 6 months, but depending on when you count the start and stop period. But the interesting thing here is that none of my languages are at a native level, nor will they ever be at a native level. And the reason for this is because everyone has the same amount of brain capacity. Meaning, if you just speak one language, your abilities in that one language will be top tier, okay? Whereas if you were someone who spoke 2 languages, your abilities in both languages are very, very unlikely to be at the same level as if you only spoke one language. Because your effort, your sort of learning of that language, your sort of exposure is split in half. And for me, growing up, it was split into 3 parts.
And if you're just starting out, I'd highly recommend checking out the Speedy Spanish Roadmap. It's a free course I created to help you start learning Spanish with these methods. And you'll find it in the first link in the description.
I rank my English as number 1, then my Swedish, then my Azerbaijani, then my Spanish. None of them are at a native level. Even though to me, it's like English is my best language, but it's like even to natives, it's not considered native. And so the same thing with my Swedish. Every single native Swede I've spoken to is basically able to tell that I'm not a native Swedish speaker. They can pick up on certain things. And with my Azerbaijani, when I speak to my parents and stuff, I usually speak like a mixture of Swedish and Azerbaijani. And also when I am in Azerbaijan, people can tell that like, oh, he's not from here. He's a foreigner, even though it's my native language. And with my Spanish as well, people can notice that I'm not like a native speaker either. It's not my only language. And so there's actually a real principle behind this. It's actually one of the concepts that got me fluent in Spanish. Because if you think about a pie, every time you split the pie or cut the pie in half, the slice has less pie than the whole. And so the more times you do that, the less each of them become. For me, for my languages, learning Spanish would indirectly make my English, my Azerbaijani, and my Swedish worse. This is what like polyglots online don't tell you. Yes, they're fluent in all the languages because they sort of pass the fluency bar, but it's an actual challenge to maintain all of them at that level. And usually, especially if you're going to learn something new, it's inevitable that you're going to get worse at one of these languages. This concept is called like essentialism, which is basically this idea that if you want to maximize one thing, the first step is actually to minimize the other things because of this exact idea. How this is applied to you, someone who is trying to learn Spanish, it means that you have to basically choose what you do carefully. Because like, there's so many people who are learning several languages at once. And it's like, you're just not going to get fluent in any of them. I'm sorry. If you're learning 3 languages at once, the amount of effort you have to put in to make progress in those languages is astronomical. Your progress in all 3 of those languages will never be as good as if you just put all the effort into one language. In the same way that my Spanish will never be as good as a native Spanish speaker unless I give up all my other languages, basically. What I sacrifice in depth, I get in breadth. It's speaking more languages, but it's not being at that native level for all of them. And so it's a trade-off. Although this trade-off might be preferable as speaking many languages but not being perfect in them, what's not worth it is trying to learn several languages at once because it just worsens your progress in each language for the same reason. Another way that essentialism can help you learn Spanish is understanding that eliminating low-leverage study and maximizing high leverage study is exactly how to get fluent, because anything can work. Everything, like Duolingo can get you fluent. It can. So can reading, so can writing, so can speaking, and so can understanding. Everything works. It's just some things give you more bang for your buck. Some things have more leverage, which means the inputs that you put in give you more output. You get more results. Each time you do it, you get closer to your goal than if you did something else. That's what it means. And so if your goal is conversational fluency, for example, sure, reading might help you a little, but will it help you more than practicing conversations? Probably not. It won't. It simply won't, okay? If a conversation is just speaking and understanding Spanish, then anything that you do that isn't that is fundamentally worsening your progress and slowing you down. And so it's not about adding more to your plate. It's not about buying this Spanish book and then taking this Spanish course and this Spanish course and this Spanish course and then doing 4 apps at the same time while you do it. It's not about adding. It's actually about minimizing. It's about eliminating. Because the more you eliminate, the more you can focus on the things that actually matter. And a lot of times there aren't as many things that actually matter as you think, because the apps don't matter. Okay, reading doesn't matter. Writing doesn't matter for conversations. What matters for conversations, the only requirements are simply speaking Spanish and understanding spoken Spanish. And so if those are the only 2 requirements, why would you even focus on other things? For my languages example, if I'm learning Spanish, why would I study Swahili? Will learning Swahili make me fluent in Spanish? No. Can it help? Maybe. Maybe there's a word that relates to Spanish in some way and can slightly help me. Just because something can help doesn't mean it's worth it, okay? Because there are words in Spanish that come from Arabic, okay? Ojalá comes from the word Allah in Arabic, which means God, and ojalá means I hope. Does that mean that learning Arabic will help you get fluent in Spanish? No, sure, it can help, but it's not helping a lot because it's not conducive to your goals. It's low leverage. In the same way that reading is low leverage. Now, it might be higher leverage than studying Arabic to learn Spanish, but it's still not worth it because the goal is conversations. And if the goal is conversations, then anything that isn't conversations, meaning speaking and understanding, is fundamentally a waste of time compared to doing the thing. If you're trying to target your abs, you want to get strong abs, would you rather do squats or crunches? Squats train the abs. Like squats literally train the abs. But who in their right mind would do squats to train their abs? No one. Why? Because crunches are better. They target the abs way better. There's higher leverage. Every crunch will target the abs better than every squat. It's higher leverage. Each input will give you way more output. So the same concept can be applied for Spanish, okay? And it's the same reason why I'm not at a native level in all my languages. Like that's a good thing, okay? My English never being at the same level as your English is actually a good thing because it means that I've sort of taken a bit off the top of my English and reallocated that to another language, which is in line with my goals. And if it's not in line with your goals, then you shouldn't do it. So if your goals isn't reading or writing, then you shouldn't do any reading or writing, even if it can help. So like you don't need to do any apps. You don't need to do any apps. You don't need to do any flashcard memorization. You don't need to do Quizlet. You don't need to do any of that. It's literally just what do you want and what is required to do it. And anything that isn't doing what's required is fundamentally a distraction. And so like if your goal is to get fluent in Spanish and get fluent fast, the solution is not to add things to your plate. It's to minimize the things that don't matter and maximize the things that matter. And that's exactly what I did to get fluent in Spanish. I saved hundreds of hours compared to the average learner. So it's probably a good thing. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed. If you're serious about learning Spanish and you want help from me, then you check the second link in the description. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed and stay humble.